Hey guys, Aerithia here. Today I'm working on this big food court. I could kind of say huge food court. And like I said last episode, I made this little example for myself of what objects I wanted to use. Funny thing is, I changed most of the colors so many times, but at least it gave me a nice way to start, which is something that I often have a lot of trouble with. A way to start, finding a new style, starting a new project. I just keep at it though, and in the end, it always kind of works out. But yeah, don't mind the way that everything looks in the beginning because I will keep changing a lot, also the objects and the style. But for the most part, these are the colors that I'm gonna use. Not really colors, black, white, and gray. But I will add a lot of color in other things like signs, and I will make really cool benches. Where we will attach parasols to with some primitive objects. So yeah, that is gonna look really cool and it gives it a nice flair to it. This building is gonna be very modern, very sleek. It's not really the style like I did for the last building or the entrance, but I kind of want to mix these three styles that I use right now into other buildings as well. Normally I'm like, okay, this building is done, let's move on. But for this project, as in the main street, I still have a lot to learn, a lot of new objects still to discover, and I can only learn by building a lot. So I want to keep adjusting the main street until everything fits well together. Most of that I will do off screen so that I can get my episodes out in time, but I will show you what I've done in real time whenever I can, of course. Also, I probably won't show you every single building that I will build on the main street, probably only the ones that have shops in them. We still need to make a building for some toilets and maybe the first aid, we can combine that maybe. We still have the souvenir shops as well, so still a lot to show you for the main street, but I will do some things off screen so we can move on to some themed styles. I'm really excited to start the western and the sci-fi theme because I haven't built in that yet, and there's a lot of objects that I don't really know about because I'm not looking for them at the moment. So I'm just really excited to start that, and I'm not in a rush or anything, but I do want the main street to be finished as fast as I possibly can do it. This building wasn't easy to make at all and really weird, but normally I'm pretty sure of what I'm doing when I get really into it. But that didn't happen when I was building this time. Now that it's finished though, it looks really awesome. A little out of place for now, but I think when the rest of the main street is built, this will really stand out and make the main street a little bit more exciting looking. Also in mind with how the radius looks, I think it will fit in really well in the end. But not easy at all to have so many shops in here, and even though the path system is so much better now, I still had to try multiple times to get everything connected. And I have a little bit experience with so many shops in one building when I did the spooky forest last time, and it has gotten way better, but still it was really a struggle, and that's kind of annoying. So just getting this little coffee shop out of the way, first I thought maybe I'll place it here, and maybe I will shuffle things around a little bit to make everything look nice together in the end. But it was just annoying me to no end that this building wasn't in the middle with how the path is laid out, so I had to change that. Also, you can't really select a grid of a path that is on top of a building, so I had to get it outside of the building a little bit so I can select that grid. Otherwise, it will just select the grid on the ground floor. So that is something to keep in mind. Now I'm placing down the shops, and I really should have done that first, but in my mind it's kind of obvious to make the foundation of the building first and then add other things. So I still have to get used to that myself. But we're not done yet. I still, like I said, I have to build the toilets and the first aid. Also probably something like a bank for the ATM that we have. So still a lot of time to teach myself place the shops first. Probably now that I said it, I will remember it because I said it out loud. So that's good at least. Right now, I think I'm gonna work on closing off this roof section over here. This will change a little bit. This is now 2 squares wide on each side, and I will make that a little bit smaller, so it will be only 1 square wide. I don't know when I will do that, but first I just wanted to get this roof in and see how it looks. And right now you're gonna see that I'm changing the path again, and I skipped through it a few times because it just took me a long time to get it so that everything would fit. So I placed the path on one shop, extended it to outside of the building, like you're seeing the path that's sticking out. Selected that grid and just added the paths from there, but you have to select and deselect the grid again and again to connect it to the other shops. It's kind of really complicated how it works, and I feel like it shouldn't be this complicated. I'm sure there could be a better way to do this, but at the same time you get used to it, so how bad is it really? If something is not possible at all, I mentioned this before, if something is not possible at all, that's when I just feel like, oh, this sucks. But when I can do it, even though it's maybe a little bit harder, I feel like, alright, I can live with that, you know? So right now I was changing the shape, make it a little bit less wide and also a little bit more dynamic in the back. Even though you probably won't ever see the back side, I will cover that up with trees and stuff like that. I won't fully decorate the whole back side, of course, but I always do feel like I should at least get the basic shape in, and you never know what you will see from a coaster on the other side or something, so at least the back side needs to look a little bit clean and nice. Most of the time I don't really like to do the whole facade thing where only the front is really nice and you have these white buildings on the back where you can clearly see the surface entrances and stuff like that. I don't know, I just feel like that's not really necessary because it's not a real theme park, and I just really like to have nice buildings in here, and there's always a way. I always make doors so that employees can come in from that side or something. Right now I'm starting to add a bit of detail. I wanted these vertical lines in here that makes it look a lot better. You kind of create a lot of horizontal lines by building walls and floors, so it's good to break that up a little bit with some vertical details. The big border around the whole roof will be in white, also the line around some doors. That looks so cool, by the way, but I will talk about that a little bit later. So I just try to keep balancing the black and white details I'm using. Right now I still think it looks a little bit too clean, so I do want to add some extra detail in here at some point. And I will do that off screen because I already kind of finished this episode, so the parasols won't be in this episode as well. But I will show you in real time how I made those at the end of the episode. That is also why this episode is a day late probably, but I think that should be okay because there were 2 episodes this week. I'm working as hard as I can and having a lot of fun while doing it. I think these are the only details I will add to the backside. I don't think there are trees as tall as this building, so the back needs to look a little bit okay because you will see it from probably the pirate theme. I think that will be behind this. Now that I'm thinking about it though, maybe I will raise up the terrain so I can cover it up completely. Kind of the purpose of this whole park is to go through portals to different places, so it would be kind of weird if you would see this building from the pirate area. We also have a lot of space now, the parks are so much bigger. We don't really need to be careful with the space we're using for terrain editing. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about is the western area because the terrain paints are really grayish and we don't really have sand or red tinted terrain paint, so it's gonna be pretty tough to do the western area, I think. I don't know why we can't just have all the different terrain paints in one map so you can make different themed areas. I thought that was the whole purpose of a theme park, is that you have multiple themed areas, so I really feel like it's kind of weird we just can't have all the terrain paints. Maybe have different tabs to select the different kind of paints from the different kind of worlds. So that is the only thing right now that's really annoying me. But oh well, maybe they will still add something like that, I hope so. Maybe if a lot of people ask for it. Right now I will add the swing signs, I think, and I discovered one weird thing, that is there isn't one for Maxilente, so that is pretty weird. All of the signs are there for every shop, but they missed the swing sign for the Maxilente, so maybe they will add that a little bit later. I don't know what they are planning, if they're planning to keep going, and I can't see why they wouldn't just keep adding new stuff to this game because it's so successful. I've noticed a few other little things, like some objects, they say you can recolor them, but they won't change color. I think there is still a few things to fix about this game as well, so I can't imagine why they wouldn't do that. I added some shop fronts to the shops, but I think I will delete that a little bit later. It just looked a little bit off to me, but now that I added the parasols and they are so colorful, I think I will probably try to add them again and see how it all looks together. Because at this time, that when I only had the shop fronts, I was like, this looks just so weird, it's so random. But now that I also made the parasols, I think it will match really well together. Oh, and here we go with the door. So I figured I could just put this glass window on top of it, so you would only see the door handle, and that way the blue is gone and we have a nice modern glass door. So that is something I was really happy with, because this is the only door that really fits with what I'm doing here. In the coffee shop I could at least use as well as the entrance, I could use a wooden door, and it didn't really stand out that much, but for this building it will certainly stand out a lot. So yeah, that was really cool to have the doors, have the glass windows that I'm also adding to the building right now. This changes the whole look of the building right away, and it kind of just clicked all of a sudden. It wasn't so empty anymore, and it felt more like a real building now. I think what I really learned this time, because normally I don't really have as much trouble as I have with this building, is sometimes you just need to keep at it and believe in what you're doing, because I can really doubt myself at times, not always, but sometimes, and this was one of those times that I really wasn't sure where I was going with this, if it would fit well or if you guys would like it, but sometimes you just have to keep at it, and now that it's finished, I'm really happy with the result. So yeah, just sometimes if you see some potential in something, don't give up right away. Just keep adding stuff and maybe it will surprise you. But that is it for the speed build part, so let's move on to some real-time stuff here. Alright, so it's the next day for me, and I'm going to show you what I've done off screen. I added a lot of detail, basically, some of these hedges and fences, a lot of little lights, and as you can probably see right away, I made these really cool tables with parasols, and even though you can clearly see that they are primitive objects, I just really like the look of it, and it adds so much atmosphere together with these lights. I just want to show you how I did that. I placed one down over here so I can show you. Can zoom in. Okay, so I made this out of primitive objects, and let me get these separate. And as you can see, it's just a triangle shape with a post, and I placed two of them together so it looks more like a parasol. And for these tables, this is really funny because it looks exactly like the bench, but this is just a sign. And I placed two of them so you won't see the green cross on it, and placed some planks down. So now it exactly looks like the benches that we have, and I thought that was a really nice touch, and it kind of feels like it was supposed to be like this. So I'm really happy with that. I changed the color a little bit and just added a lot of foliage because that just changes everything. I placed the coffee house back, and I still don't know if I like it right next to this building, so maybe I will shuffle it around a little bit. Place some trees behind this and a little bit of terraforming. This is something that I'm not sure of, but I kind of want to see if I can build a train station over here, and maybe one here as well, so that I can maybe loop it around the whole park with different stations so you can get everywhere. But I kind of want to wait with that until I have some themed areas done, because I don't exactly know if I will have space for that or if it will fit in my plans. So I'm leaving this kind of open for now, and maybe we could just make it go underneath here and come up here again to another station. So I think that could be a cool idea, just to have it loop around the park so you can get everywhere with the train as well. So that's why I'm leaving this part a little bit open here. But yeah, I just really like the look of this. It's really modern, and right now it feels kind of out of place, but I think it will be alright, and I really want to place down the radius. I'm not going to connect it yet or anything, but I just want to show you what the whole idea is behind this style and this area. And when you place this down, I think this will look really cool. Someone also came with an idea, and I will mention your name next time when I will start building it. Someone mentioned maybe make a resort style hotel or anything. So I will probably do that. I will probably make a hotel on the other side of this, so it's kind of another big building across of it. And I will just add probably a bank, and we can do even the shops, the souvenir shops and the toilets, the first aid, also all of it in that hotel building. So that could be kind of cool, and we could do something with an interior again, which I love, as you guys probably know by now. So in the meantime, I will probably fill this spot up and this one with some random buildings so that the main street feels finished. I don't want it to be huge because the main focus is going to be to go from this place to behind over here where probably a lake will be, and you can go into the separate areas from there, like this. So I think that could be pretty cool. And I think this will look really awesome as a... yeah, the first place you come into when you come into a theme park. And the last thing I want to do is I put down this entertainment point over here, and I kind of figured already out, I already figured out how this works. So I just want to assign our entertainer to the entrance over here, so we won't wander around over here in in the main street. There will be other mascots like the Cosmic Cow and Chief Beef that we can place down here, but I just want the Golden King coaster to be at the entrance. So we need to create a new work roster, if I'm right. And I don't know if you... over here. Oh, I should delete this because that was my test. So you can create a new roster, and then you get this multi-select tool, and you can select, I think, shops and an entertainment point, and it will roam around between those 2 points. So I'm just gonna select this over here, and I think it will now say facilities and shops, 8 of them, but we only have 4 in here, right? So I don't really know what that is about, but I think that should be good. I just wanted to roam around over here, so I hope that works. Save work roster. And I think now we could go to our Golden King coaster over here. And work roster. So now we can select this roster over here. I should probably rename it at some point, but for now this should do. Okay, so I think that is all you need to do. Let's speed this up and let's see. Oh, he goes over there right away, so maybe it works. And let's just see for a second if he stays between this area over here. And we need to do a lot more of these entertainment points. Oh, he's going back. No, he's not. Okay, good. We need to do a lot more of these entertainment points because I want quite a few of them walking around over here, everyone that has to do with these shops, and I think that should be quite good. Yeah, I think he's going to the entertainment point at some point as well. I sure hope so, because he should hang around over here as well. For now he seems to just go to the entrance every time. But yeah, I think that should be good, and if that needs some adjusting, I will do that a little bit later. But that is basically it for this episode. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you want to support this series and our channel. Always feel free to leave a comment. So just thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you on the next one.